From stories across the world to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Nitya De Oliveira.
Good evening, I'm Clifford Richards. First of all, we'll take a look at the headlines. The President requests not to destabilize the provision of relief to poor masses. Instructions to speedily overcome the teacher shortage. A solution has been provided to a problem within 2 hours at the Gama Samaga Pilisandara program. The COVID vaccine has so far been given to 406,650 persons. The Prime Minister says that a separate export corridor of our own will be prepared in place of the economic corridor of America. And now for the news in detail. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa requests not to destabilize the process of providing relief to the poor masses. He made these remarks participating in the Gama Samaga Pilisandara program in Kulekaduwa area in Gombarankadewala in Trincomalee today. The distance from the centre of the Gombarankadewala town to Kulekaduwa is 8 kilometers. The remote village is with 416 families located 45 kilometers away from the Trincomalee town. The source of livelihood of many villagers is farming. The President, on his way to attend the Gama Samaga Pilisandara program at the Kulekaduwa Vidyalaya, met and inquired from the people along the road on their problems and information relating to the area. The President has also looked into the paddy harvest of the current season. The President, prior to the commencement of the Gama Samaga Pilisandara program, declared open the smart classrooms established at the Kulekaduwa Vidyalaya. The State Ministry of Infrastructure, Facilities and School Services joined hands with SLT Mobitel Institute in the provision of technical facilities. The President has handed over a television set provided by Dialogue Institute to the principal of the school. The President also inspected a new innovation of a pair of walking shoes which generates electricity, created by a student, Chatura Madhumal, of the Gamtala Central College in Kantale. The President said that in comparison with other countries, Sri Lanka has been more successful in containing the COVID pandemic. 1 million vaccines have been bought and they should be given according to a proper methodology. Numerous opinions have been spread in villages on the issue of paddy. He added that as the President, he has given fertilizer free of charge. A 50 rupee guaranteed price has been given for paddy. Now the farmers are receiving relief. Earlier, nobody used to come to remote villages and did not have time to do so. The President said that he is engaged in the dialogue in order to receive the opinion of the people. He also said that his policies are people-oriented. He has rallied and also recalled the pathetic economic condition when they took over power. Today, he added that a better price is being given for the agricultural produce, including paddy and maize. Earlier, millions of rupees were spent to import these items from abroad. 100,000 jobs have been given to eradicate poverty. The President has called upon not to destabilize the process of providing relief to the poor people who do not have proper educational qualifications or an income. It has been pointed out that many education-related problems persists in Gombarankadewala, regarded as the most remote educational zone in the island. The most common problems are shortcomings in the infrastructure facilities and physical resources, as well as teacher shortages. A sum of 34 million rupees has been set aside to construct teacher residences in 34 schools in the Trincomalee district, and a further 34 million rupees for the reconstruction of existing residencies. Secretary of Education said that water filters will be installed as a remedy to the shortage of drinking water facilities in 15 schools. It has also been reported that 5 computers are to be provided to each of the Piruvanas in the Trincomalee district. The provision of playgrounds and other infrastructure facilities will also be provided to the students in Piruvana institutions throughout the island. The President has also instructed officials to build a meeting hall and classrooms at the Kulakadavala Vidyalaya and to take immediate measures to fill the teacher shortage and shortcomings of infrastructure facilities in all schools in the district. The President has further ordered to develop with the carpeting of 41 roads in the area within the next 3 years. The President focusing attention on the number of kidney patients in the Sripura in the Padaviya area has reiterated the need to immediately establish a blood transfusion unit. A sum of 125 million rupees has been allocated to reconstruct 39 reservoirs in the area. Secretary to the Ministry of Irrigation said that a further 99 reservoirs will be developed under the Wari Saubhagya program. A large number of officials, including Governor of the Eastern Province Anuradha Yahampath, Parliamentarian Kapila Athakorala and President Chief Advisor Lalit Veeratunga have also attended this event.
Now, a female student of the Madhavachya Vidyalaya has made a request from President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to develop the playground of a school at the Gama Samaga Pilisandara program held at the Kula Kadavala Vidyalaya in Trincomalee today. Now, the President has instructed the Army Commander to reconstruct the playground without delay. A special feature has been the Army taking measures to develop the playground at the Madhavachya Vidyalaya within 2 hours upon making the request.
අපේ ඉස්කෝලේට ක්‍රීඩා පිට්ටනිය යන ජනාධිපතිතුමා අපේ ඉස්කෝලේ ඉන්නවා ගොඩක් ක්‍රීඩා දක්ෂතා තියෙන පළාත් මට්ටමේ ජයග්‍රහණය කරපු සහෝදරයෝ.
The Engineering Brigade of the Army has commenced reconstruction of the playground within 2 hours after receiving orders to attend to work. Nearly 250 students study at the Madhavachya Vidyalaya. Students of the school have secured many sports victories of the regional and provincial levels. A 400-meter track is to be constructed at the playground by taking into consideration the skills of the students. Now, in the meantime, the epidemiology unit says that the AstraZeneca vaccine has so far been provided to 406,633 persons under the COVID-19 inoculation program. The vaccination procedure has continued today as well. The vaccination program continued for the 30th day today. 13,164 persons were vaccinated yesterday. People over the age of 60 years in Navinna Maharagama were vaccinated today at the Navinna Raja Mahaviharasthanaya. People over the age of 60 years in Pitakote and Athulkote were also vaccinated today at the Pitakote Maternal and Child Clinic. Health sources say around 2,000 persons were inoculated. The process of vaccinating all those above the age of 30 years in 8 Grama Seva divisions in Negombo is being implemented with effect from yesterday at the Negombo Municipal Council premises. Plans are underway to inoculate around 7,000 persons. Police media spokesman DIG Ajit Rohan says 21,553 officials in the Sri Lanka Police have already been vaccinated. The program continued today as well. Vaccination of persons over the age of 30 years in Boralla and surrounding areas took place at the Campbell Park in Boralla. The Health Division says around 1,000 persons were vaccinated today. The number of recoveries from COVID-19 has reached 78,373, a percentage of 94.83. Another 3,813 patients are continuously undergoing treatment. 21,212 are recovered since the beginning of the month. Another 748 persons have been discharged after recovering from the virus today. Another 220 COVID-19 patients were detected in the island today, all of them close contacts of the Paliagada COVID cluster. 13,164 PCR tests have been conducted yesterday. A total of 2,094,280 PCR tests have been conducted so far in the country. "135 tourists from Kazakhstan have arrived at the Matala Rajapaksa International Airport this morning. Of the 7th group of Kazakhstan tourists to have arrived in the country so far, 165 tourists have left the country so far. Our correspondent says that the number of tourists arriving in the Ala tourist zone has increased. The tourist arrivals in the area has remained at an extremely low level for a period of nearly 1 year due to the coronavirus. Police say that 5 persons were arrested during the 24 hours ending at 6 a.m. today for ignoring health protective measures. 3,247 have been arrested so far in connection with this offence.
Well, President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion relief package was passed by the U.S. House of Representatives today, with Democrats hoping the bill will be signed off before mid-March. Well, we have this report from the Reuters.
President Joe Biden scored his first legislative win early Saturday as the House passed his $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package. Democrats, however, faced challenges to their hopes of using the bill to raise the minimum wage. Democrats, who control the chamber, passed the sweeping measures by a mostly party line vote of 219 to 212 and sent it onto the Senate, where Democrats planned a legislative maneuver to allow them to pass it without the support of Republicans. Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
More than a year ago, more a year into this pandemic and economic crisis, the American people need to know that their government is there for them. And as President Biden has said, help is on the way.
The American Rescue Plan would pay for vaccines and medical supplies and send a new round of emergency financial aid to households, small businesses and state and local governments. Republicans, who have broadly backed previous COVID-19 spending, said much of the current package was not necessary. They said only 9% of the total would go directly toward fighting the virus. Democrats aim to get the bill to the president to sign into law before mid-March, when a number of benefits are set to expire.
Now, in the meantime, a panel of expert advisors to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration voted to recommend Johnson & Johnson's one-dose COVID-19 vaccine yesterday. Now, this sets the stage for the rollout of a third approved vaccine next week.
Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine is one step closer to distribution. A panel of expert advisors gave the thumbs up to J&J's COVID-19 vaccine on Friday. That recommendation then goes to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, which is likely to grant authorization for its emergency use within a day or so, setting the stage for a planned rollout of 3 to 4 million doses next week. That would make J&J's vaccine the third one available in the U.S. after those made by Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna. And it would be the only one that requires just one shot. Unlike the other two, J&J's vaccine can be stored in normal refrigerator temperatures instead of ultra-cold storage. That makes distribution a lot easier. A trial found that J&J's vaccine was 66% effective at preventing moderate to severe cases of COVID-19. And it was 100% effective at preventing hospitalizations 28 days after vaccination.
Now, this is definitely an unusual therapy. The UNESCO World Heritage Site in Poland is being used to help people recover from COVID-19, with patients going deep underground in the Welkiza salt mine to a therapeutic center dealing with respiratory illness.
Deep underground in Poland's UNESCO World Heritage Welkiza salt mine, aerobics, music and the likes of YMCA is pulsing as the class swings kettlebells and squats. This is not your usual scene in the popular tourist site, known for its ornate underground chapels carved from salt. But during the pandemic, it's been turned into a therapeutic centre, helping people recover from COVID-19. For pensioner Christina Gorniak from Krakow, she says the exercises are helping her, as she is still suffering from post-COVID-19 symptoms.
The typical breathing exercises like blowing the feather, using a straw to suck the cotton ball, help us breathe in a different way, but also stretching the chest or exercises that help increase the lungs capacity.
Doctors say the microclimate in the mine, which stretches as far as 327 metres underground, also helps people with pulmonary problems. Magdalena Krostsen, a doctor working at the mine, explains that the air reaches the underground rooms through a series of salt corridors, and thanks to this, it's cleaned of pollutants that are on the surface.
Additionally, air ionization and favorable thermal and humid conditions foster the recovery of the respiratory system.
A salt mine with a healing tradition that reaches back to the 19th century and now used again in the present.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has presided over the inauguration ceremony of the national program to create export agri-zones at the historic Kasagala Raja Mahaviharasthana premises today. Now, the program is being implemented according to the Saubhagya Dakma policy. The current contribution of the export agri-industrial sector to the GNP is at 2%. The objective of the Agri-Entrepreneur Promotion National Program is to enhance its contribution to 4% by the year 2025. Accordingly, appropriate export-oriented crops suited to the climatic conditions are to be cultivated in all 9 provinces. Minor cash crops such as cashew, pepper, cinnamon, nutmeg, betel, as well as TJC mangoes are being grown. In addition, beekeeping and cultivation of crops of which importation had been restricted also take place. Under the preliminary stage, work relating to the creation of cultivation plots and cultivators are taking place in the Anuradhapura and Kurunegala districts. The objective is to set up agri-export zones or 100 agri-villages in 10 districts by the end of 2021. It is also anticipated to engage in production targeting domestic and international markets by regrouping the rural population. The Prime Minister inaugurated the Hambantota District Agri-Export Village under the program to set up agri-export villages and zones throughout the country by planting a TJC mango sapling. Release of fish to the Ihela Alutava Reservoir has also taken place. The Prime Minister distributed export crop plants including mangoes, cashew, pepper to the residents of the area. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that there will be no generation of jobs if there is no production in the country. Jobs are created when the country moves into a production-oriented economy. Today, Sri Lankans are compelled to migrate in search of jobs. The people have been infused with a slave mentality. It is an issue of amusement to find the allocation of separate ministries for cashew, tamarind and other crops. But it is not at all amusing to find the importation of local varieties of fruits such as mango, cashew, pineapple and guava. The country annually spends 1,000 million rupees for food export. The Prime Minister further said that opportunities have been provided for the cultivation of turmeric without relying on import. The Prime Minister further said that he believes that the country is now saving annually 1,000 million rupees due to local harvest of turmeric. The export crop income in 2019 was at 63,000 million rupees. He added that the government has been successful in increasing the revenue to 73,000 million rupees within a year. A mango zone of 100,000 saplings is being created. Each plot of land will be given 25 saplings. He further said that the minister has planned to set up a cashew corridor. He has urged to set our own export corridor in place of the American economic corridor. The Mahasangha, including Chief Incumbent of the Kasagala Raja Mahaviharasthana, Venerable Talan Porwe Indra Shri Sumanathera, Chief Incumbent of the Kirivehera Viharasthana, Venerable Kubavaka Dammindathera, and Chief Sanganaik of Italy, Venerable Vagegoda Sri Ilananda Thera have also attended the inauguration ceremony. Ministers Chamal Rajapaksha, Nama Rajapaksha, Mahinda Amravira, Dr. Ramesh Pathiran and State Ministers D.V. Chanaka and Janakava Kumbara and parliamentarians Upul Galapati and Ajit Rajapaksa, as well as the governor of the southern province, Wile Gamage, have also attended the event.
Purchasing of paddy from the farmers in the northern province is now being carried out successfully. The government has set aside a sum of 250 million rupees on the first stage of this program. Well, paddy is being purchased at the government guaranteed price in 14 centres. The aim is to purchase 58,000 metric tons of paddy in the Northern Province. Regional Manager of the Paddy Marketing Board in the Northern Province, WNNR Veerasekara, says a kilo of Nadu paddy is being bought for 52 rupees. A kilo of Samba paddy is being purchased for 54 rupees. Facilities have been made for the farmers to receive payments for their first harvest without delay. Our correspondent says a record paddy harvest has been recorded in the districts of Jaffna, Mannar, Mullaitivu, Vavuniya and Kilinochchi, and also in the current season.
Now, in the meantime, electorate meetings as well as Youth and Women's Federation meetings of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna are being conducted successfully throughout the island in connection with the 4th anniversary of the SLPP. All meetings have been organised under the theme Siu Desa Suraki Siu Vasarak according to health guidelines. State Minister Indika Anuruddha has presided over the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Halegud electorate meeting today. A group including people's representatives are present at the occasion. State Minister Indika Anuruddha also attended a youth representative gathering in the Mana electorate at the Mana Municipal Council Auditorium. Parliamentarians Ashoka Priyant and Kadir Mastan have also attended the event. The Hiniduma Women's Electorate meeting of the SLPP was conducted at the Nellua Pradesh Sabha Auditorium today. Parliamentarian Sampath Athakorala has presided over the event. Parliamentarians Manjula Disanaika and Rajga Vikramasinghe have also attended the event.
Well, a farewell ceremony titled Sunanda Binante was held at the Rajatha studio of Rupavahini on the 16th of February to honour the services of veteran media personality and director of ChannelEye, Mrs. Sunanda Hettiarachchi. Distinguished invitees from the media industry attended this event.
Veteran television producer, voice artist, news anchor and TV presenter Mrs. Sunanda Hettiarachchi retired from her media career after rendering her professional services for over 38 years to Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. Since the inception of ChannelEye, she was the director of the channel and the famous morning show Rise and Shine was her brainchild. She was the producer and presenter of Prashansa, Vanijalovin, Ruvanara and many more telecasts on Rupavahini. She has rendered her voice to famous foreign dramas such as Oshin, Susuran, Manutapaya, The Count of Monte Cristo, Malgudi Days, cartoon and children's programs. She goes down in history as the first female senior television producer of Rupavahini. Mrs. Sunanda was one of the key producers who initiated the trend-setting women's morning show Nuga Savana, and she was the producer of the program on Tuesdays. Veterans from the media industry shared their thoughts during the event. The Director General, Mr. Ajit Naragala, also participated to share his thoughts and presented the plaque of appreciation to Mrs. Sunanda on behalf of Rupavahini Corporation. We salute Mrs. Sunanda Hettiarachchi for the great services rendered by her to the industry.
There's a lot of power on the snow, and it's time to end the news. Do enjoy the rest of the programs. Take care and good night.
Good night.